This clip is from The Buckle Bomb Show. New episodes drop every Sunday at youtube.com/bombmediaproductions. The Buckle Bomb Show's WrestleMania Backlash preview. Backlash being tonight. So we'll go ahead and get started on that. We'll talk about the very first match here listed on the card. Something we are both looking forward to. Happy Corbin versus Madcap Moss. What do you think of this? What do you think is going to happen here?
I'm actually really looking forward to this match because it means it's going to be the end of this godforsaken storyline, hopefully. But at this point, there's no way around it. It has to be Madcap Moss. They're trying to put the jetpack on this kid for whatever reason, and it's not going to do him any favors by putting Corbin over.
Agreed. Madcap Moss goes over it, I think, pretty decidedly here. I don't see this being too long of a match, under 10 minutes. Probably a filler match somewhere in the card.
The other thing that I have to point out with this, there's that actors quit being funny when they go from being fat to getting super jacked. Look what people have said about Jonah Hill, things along those lines. So get the stand-up comedy bit away from Madcap Moss. Like, actually give him a personality and just let him blossom into the superstar that I think Vince wants him to be after this. But please let this be the last time for a year they interact. Please.
Well, at the very least, whether they continue to interact or not, he needs to get away from this over-the-top, gimmicky character and slide into something. It can still be a big, it's WWE. They have bigger-than-life characters. It can still be that. It doesn't have to be this really super over-the-top, gimmicky, stand-up comedian character. Definitely we need to get away from that. All right. After that, we got Bobby Lashley and Omos with MVP in his corner. What do you expect to happen here?
Man, this one's a toss-up in my opinion. Are we trying to keep Bobby Lashley as the number one babyface on Raw allegedly, or does Omos need that win more? One thing I am excited for, Omos got the mouthpiece that he needed in MVP to actually take his character to that next level. So, man, I'm going to go Omos.
Me too. I think that's the story that's to a certain degree being told here. Bobby Lashley beat Omos at WrestleMania. The night after that, MVP turns and sides with Omos. That's the difference maker in this match. Now that Omos has MVP in his corner, he's going to go over Bobby Lashley. All right. Up next, we have AJ Styles versus Edge of the Judgment Day with Damian Priest barred from ringside. What do you think is going to happen here?
We touched on it earlier. Edge has to go over. They can't have the leader of Judgment Day lose this early in the buildup of the faction. And I think with, like I said earlier, Damian Priest being barred from ringside, that too sweet me softly lasted a little too shortly. I think Finn Balor's going to come out and act as the distraction for Edge to pick up the victory.
I agree, and you're going to see Finn Balor, the demon Finn Balor, as a part of Judgment Day. I think you are dead on there. I see that happening as well. All right. Next, we have the big trios match. Oh, wait, this is WWE, not AEW. 6-man tag team match. RK Bro and Drew McIntyre versus the Bloodline. I fully expect the Bloodline to continue their winning ways here. Hopefully this does eventually lead into a tag team unification match that we were supposed to get here. I'm not upset that this is happening because I do still think you want to get to Roman Reigns, and I'll keep harping on this until they say it's not happening. Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre at Clash at the Castle in 4 months. You got to spread out time until then. Maybe you do still bring in a Shinsuke as a stopgap at next month's pay-per-view, and Drew McIntyre can take part in that feud in some way because you need to stretch this out a few months. But what do you think happens here?
So after listening to what you just said, that point put me at a point of contention. Originally, I was going to say that there's no way RK McBro doesn't go over here on the Bloodline because I was thinking for the future storyline of, hey, we beat you. Just kind of like that taunting, hanging the piece of meat in the lion's face. However, I could see the storyline where Bloodline goes over, leading into Hell in a Cell. The Usos are really feeling themselves, so they challenge RK Bro inside of a Hell in a Cell match. As we've seen in the past, the Usos throw on one hell of a Cell match. So I think we could get the title change, the unification match to happen at Hell in a Cell. Like you said, we get Shinsuke as a filler before Clash at the Castle. Maybe a little Bobby Lashley dispute there leading up to Clash at the Castle. Yeah, man. Bloodline.
Bloodline's going over. I think that's for sure. I think that's part of one of the things, and you see it a little bit less these days, but certainly back before, if the baby faces were on top in the go home show, then that usually meant the heels were going to win and vice versa. So I think we saw the baby faces on top at the end of SmackDown. So I think tonight the heels come back and they get the big victory tonight through whatever shenanigans that may bring. I think it'll further. I do think you're right. I forgot Hell in a Cell was the next pay-per-view. You could get that tag team unification match in a Hell in a Cell. That'd be interesting. That'd be a hell of a way to unify the titles. We'll see what they do to further the Roman Drew feud, because again, I still think they have to draw it out a little bit here. But again, you don't want it to be boring and nothing to happen with it. So they got to do something with it here. I don't think Drew or Roman, they're not getting pinned. It's going to be probably Riddle to take the pin. Maybe Orton, but probably Riddle.
Yeah. And, the other thing with that being said, I don't know if you've seen what happened at the house show WWE had last night. Roman got on the mic afterwards and said that his time with WWE may be coming to an end. So that begs the question. We all know if that's true, it's not because he's going to a different promotion. He's going to take The Rock's path. He's already been dabbling with it with his little cameos and Hobbs and Shaw.
I think that was a little bit of him being a heel too. Not that he doesn't have acting prospects out there. He certainly does. But I also think he's playing that up to be the heel. And of course, a lot of news aggregation sites are going to take that and run with it.
Yeah. Which hopefully you're right, because Cena proved for a little bit that you could do both. Granted, he ended up doing the thing that he said he would never do, unlike The Rock, but
it was time for John Cena to go away too, and he did come back, and he ended up being a pretty good babyface run last summer. So, that we'll see what happens with there, but I don't think you're going to see Roman Reigns go away anytime soon. All right, the next match we have is the SmackDown Women's Championship I Quit match between Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey. We already discussed how much we are not enjoying the lack of chemistry between these two. What do you think is going to happen here? You think Ronda Rousey finally goes over?
I think Rousey has to go over. This is her wheelhouse of a match. Basically a submission match.
Agreed.
The only thing that I hope doesn't get taken out of context when I say this, with an I Quit match, it's a little less structure. The performers are able to take a little bit more liberty upon themselves during the match.
It's no DQ.
I think we're going to see some hard-hitting spots in this match, which has me excited for it. Rousey has to go over. There has to be the rubber match for this run for Ronda Rousey, probably at Hell in a Cell, where Rousey's going to go over again, eventually leading into either Clash at the Castle or SummerSlam. We're finally going to get that women's unification match between Rousey and Becky Lynch. We know the history between them, the heat between them, so that could be an explosive storyline itself. So we'll see what happens, but I got to pick Ronda.
You said women's unification match. Bianca Belair is the title holder right now for Raw.
Oh my God, you're so right. I apologize. Holy
Very
hell, I
good.
forgot about
And
that.
I don't think she's dropping it back to Becky anytime soon. She's not. Right now, she's in the feud with Sonya Deville. Yeah, I don't think. I think Bianca's going to have it for a while.
Clash at the Castle in Cardiff.
Possibly.
Because that's leading right in. That'd be leading right into SummerSlam, wouldn't it?
I believe so.
Yeah.
No, that's after SummerSlam. SummerSlam would be August, and then Clash at the Castle September 3rd.
All right.
But yeah, maybe SummerSlam, maybe Clash at the Castle. That's a big stadium show. But yeah, I think there's a thing you said that you brought up about this match being an ODQ match. Maybe that's a way to get around some of the chemistry issues. They can sort of gimmick the match up a little bit. As much as I normally don't like that, they can do that here a little bit to hide some of those chemistry issues and make it a better match than it was at WrestleMania. Hopefully, yeah, I do see Ronda Rousey finally going over here. And then they can stretch that out. Charlotte gets a rematch at Hell in a Cell next month.
You know,
maybe not, but
there are those rumors out there swirling right now that there's an impending draft coming up.
That's not until I think they've got it scheduled for November, was the rumor.
Oh, okay.
So it's not for a long ways yet.
All right.
I mean, that can always change. They can always move it up, but at the very least, it wouldn't be, I think the earliest they would have it would be July or August. All right. And then they've got listed here as the main event, at least the last card they have on the preview screen, Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins. What do you see happening here? I think it's pretty obvious.
You would think it would be obvious. But again, I can see Seth going over and them having the rubber match at Hell in a Cell. I really do. If you had Cody go over Seth twice in a row, it's not going to be good for Seth's character.
Good. Destroy that character, please. I don't think losing twice in a row to Cody Rhodes is going to hurt Seth Rollins at all. Especially that character, because that character just draws in so much heat for itself because it's so fucking terrible and over the top.
Agree to disagree. That's the hill I will die on.
And because Seth Rollins is so good, he'll be fine losing 2 in a row to Cody Rhodes. He can take that and just make him even more of a pissant, annoying character. I don't think that'll be a problem. It depends on whether or not they want to go to a third match. But I don't think they do. I don't think they do here. I think, all right, we've seen Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins twice now. I think he'll go over here, and then Cody Rhodes will move on to whatever's next. I don't think we're going to see this go on to Hell in a Cell. Because Lord knows we've seen enough in-ring promos between the two of them. I don't need another fucking month of that. But as much as I love Cody,
where I'm at.
So also, I don't think we're going to get that.
If you think Seth Rollins is good, I have a DVD that I would like you to borrow sometime called High Spots Wrestling Presents the Best of Tyler Black and Jon Moxley. I really think you would get a kick out of that. Not at all. You will hate it.
Well, I was just already like the name of the production company that made the High Spots Wrestling already annoys me. All right. Because now I just think of it as a fucking highlight reel of High Spots.